Hey everyone, welcome. We are doing chapter 2, lesson 7, and lessons 8. If it sounds like I've got 2 pieces of tissue paper stuffed up my nose so that my nose isn't running, you're correct, sadly, because I'm a little bit sick. But anyways, let's start. Here is a cutout of the place value chart to the millionths. Can I ask you to place 5 millionths into this place value chart? Where would you place it? Press pause and find it out. Great. If you put the 5 millionths right here, you are correct. Now, can I ask you, what would be larger? 5 millionths or 500 thousandths? Which one of these two would be larger? 5 millionths or 500 thousandths? Let's take a look. There's a movie that came out a couple years ago that we're going to use an example. Have you ever heard of the movie Marvel's Ant-Man? Yeah, he's pretty cool. Played by Paul Rudd, and he shrinks down to like a microscopic level, or he can grow really, really big. Really, really big. But he can also shrink down to something really, really small. Check it out. That is Ant-Man right there on Tony Stark or Iron Man's shoulder. He can grow to really, really small. We're going to use it as an example to say that he is going to be a millionth or 100,000th of a centimeter. Let's go take a look. Here's our place value chart again, and let's have an an Ant-Man placed right here. There's Ant-Man. Boom. Cool, right? Now, let's shrink him down to a teeny tiny little Ant-Man. And he can shrink even more to a teeny tiny little Ant-Man. So let's say there's 5 Ant-Mans in the millions place. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 Ant-Mans in the millions place. How many more Ant-Mans do we need to get to the 100,000s? Well, if we added 5 more Ant-Mans, it would be 10 millions or 100 thousandths. Let's show you. Right now, we currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 Ant-Mans. If we could write 9 Ant-Mans, which is 9 millionths, just right there. If we added one more, how do we write 10 millionths? All right, let's shrink Ant-Man, shrink. You see my sound effects? And we'll put Ant-Man right here. Now there are 10 millionths. And the way that we write it is like this. See if I can erase this 9 here. There we go. We have 10 millionths right there. If we wanted to just say there was 100 thousandths, that's correct too. What we did was we had 9 Ant-Men here in the 9 millions, and you add one more and you have 10 millions. If I were to ask you to write down the number 80 millionths, how would you write it? To write down 80 millionths, some of us would think, oh, all I do is write 80 millionths. Wait a minute, and then you add another one on the other side, like there. That would be incorrect, unfortunately, because 80 millionths would be this. Now, can I ask you, which number is larger? Would it be 80 millionths or 8 millionths? Let me erase our numbers here and try and decide which one it would be. Let's write down 80 millionths first. Like what we had, 80 millionths. Is that larger, or is it 8 millionths? Remember, the larger numbers always come from the left side, so ones. After the ones on that side would be tens, hundreds, thousands. And we get significantly smaller here. If we had our Ant-Mans, let's try and put an Ant-Man up here. Here is Ant-Man getting smaller and smaller. And with each movement of the place value, he gets 10 times smaller. Which would be larger, 80 millionths or 8 millionths? We would just have to look at which number is greater in the leftmost column. 800 thousandths is larger than 8 millionths. So 80 millionths is larger than 8 millionths. Okay, last examples. We're going to take this number. What are different ways that we can say this number? Can you give me at least 2? Press pause right now and try and list off 2 ways that you can represent this number. If you can get 3, 4, or 5, that's fantastic. All right, did you say 25 thousandths? That's fantastic, you're right. What are other ways that you can say it? If it's 25 thousandths, you could also say it's 250 ten thousandths, or 2,500 hundred thousandths, or what would that one be? 25,000 millionths. Wonderful. Here's the last question. Which one of these 2 decimals is larger? Can you please pause it right now and tell me which decimal is larger? 0.025 or 0.004? If you use your place value chart, we can plot it right in there. Let's write small so we can fit both of them in there. 0.025, so we know that there are 25 thousandths, or 0.004. How would we know which one's larger? Again, we're going to go to the leftmost number. There are 2 hundredths in the hundredths place and 0 hundredths in the hundredths place here. Even though 0.004 looks larger, it is actually not, because there's 0 hundredths here and 2 hundredths here. Therefore, 0.025 is the larger number. Hopefully that made sense. I know I'm a little bit sick. Please come and ask me if you have any questions. But first, if you are confused, I suggest that you go back and rewatch this video on parts that were confusing. We are trying to understand the millionths place in the place value chart, how we can rename different decimals, also comparing which decimal would be larger.